joining us now is their senior communications manager, Craig Bryson, on the Splash Live. Craig, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Tyler. Good to be with you.
Yeah, happy to have you on and to talk about a really important issue because, of course, this time of the year we see all those traffic cones out. We see a lot of road work happening on not only major thoroughfares, but also some of those minor repairs that happen over the warmer months of the year so we can have smooth driving throughout the rest of the year, and particularly in the winter where it's really tough to get those projects done. But that being said, all these different distractions that are there with us, all these different detours, and of course, just keeping an eye out for everybody else makes for sometimes some very dangerous situations. So how is the Road Commission for Oakland County addressing making our roads safer while bringing the people in to make those changes?
Well, first of all, let me preface that by saying this is something we've been committed to for 45 plus years, since 1978, when our then managing director declared that safety would be the #1 priority that drives everything we do. So since then, we've been a leader nationally in using crash data to guide project selection, project design, maintenance operations, all that kind of thing. And that's resulted in our roads being among the safest roads in the nation for a community our size and our population. And I think many people don't realize that. But we're taking that to the next level. We got a federal grant last year, the Federal Safe Streets for All process, and we're putting together a safety action plan that'll help us identify additional areas where we can do more work. We're looking for public input. One of the ways public can provide input is through a public information meeting we're having on July 29th, Monday, July 29th, from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. That's going to be at the Oakland County Executive Office Building, which is 2100 Pontiac Lake Road in Waterford Township, and it'll be in the Executive Conference Room. And we invite people to come in there and let us know any areas of concern that they have with the roads. If they've seen something, have experienced something that they think we should be aware of or look at, we welcome that opportunity.
And it's an interesting time, too, Craig, to be talking about this because of some recent information that's been obtained that's given us better insight on the safety of our roads and the safety, frankly, of us as drivers, too. Bridge, Michigan reporting that data from 2023 shows traffic deaths went down. However, work zone accidents and even some pedestrian incidents either went up or were level from past years. And then we take a look at even some other publications recently. Michigan Auto Law releasing the most dangerous intersections list every year, and 3 of those intersections are right here in the greater West Bloomfield immediate area, including 2 in the top 5. So as we address the Safe Streets and Roads for All program, how do we incorporate the overall danger that comes along with our local roadways because they're so highly trafficked?
Right, and part of we do disagree with the auto law information. They look simply at raw total numbers of crashes. We're more concerned with crash severity and crash rates. If you look simply at total crash numbers, what you're going to find is that the busiest intersections, like Orchard Lake and 14 Mile, have more crashes. That's because they have far more traffic. They will always have more crashes, no matter what. However, what we're looking at is the severity of crashes at intersections, and what you find is intersections like that have extremely few severe crashes. They may have more fender benders than we would like to see, but those are not crashes where people are getting injured or killed. And that's our goal, is to reduce those serious injury crashes. And just recently, we got another confirmation from the state of Michigan that our traffic crash fatality rate in Oakland County is the lowest in Southeast Michigan, probably the lowest in the state, and less than half the statewide traffic fatality rate, well below half of the national rate. So as I mentioned, in the nation, and again, people don't realize that.
Yeah, the data from 2023, Oakland County's traffic fatality rate, which is calculated at deaths per 100 million miles of vehicle travel. In Oakland County, that was 0.46 deaths per 100 million miles of travel. The statewide rate on average 1.15, and nationally 1.35. That data available on rcocweb.org. So Craig, taking all of this into account and then going into these public forums, these public discussions through the Safe Streets and Roads for All, or SS4A program, how will you incorporate both the data and the opinions of the community into this initiative, and then take that into action going forward?
That's a great question. So as part of this process, we've created a Safe Streets committee to study all the information we receive from the public, and do background checks on traffic volumes, traffic crash rates, and look and see how serious the problems are, and then prioritize those locations. Then once we've done that, the next step will be to begin to apply for federal Safe Streets for All grants, so that we begin to implement projects to improve those situations. That's the long-term goal here, is to get some of that federal money so we can make changes to those locations and resolve some of those problems. By the way, there's also another way that people can provide input. They can go to our Safe Streets for All website. That's a separate website from the Road Commission website. There is a map there where they can drop a pin on the map to identify a location and let us know what the issue is at that location. That's an ongoing thing that they can share information with us. That website address is bit.ly, so bit.ly/RCOC-SS4A, which stands for Safe Streets for All. So bit.ly/RCOC-SS4A.
And that's the place you can go for even more information on this project going forward, including their discussions session that will be happening on July 29th coming up. And again, all of this information and more on what you need to know about our local streets and roads and traffic in our community can be found on rcocweb.org. So taking all of this into account and understanding that there are so many other factors that come into road safety other than just the condition of the roads and the rate of accidents in our community, what else really has a major impact on the overall safety of our roadways, and how can the community play a role in reducing those risk factors?
Great question. So there's a number of things we can do. We're always looking at traffic patterns. Where are the left turns? What can we do to make those left turns safer? But we're also always working with the public to educate them on how to drive more safely, not being distracted, not looking at your phone while you're driving, focusing on what you're doing, driving the speed limit, slowing down in construction zones. Pedestrian safety, bicyclist safety is huge. We're trying to do everything we can to both make those areas safer and notify the motoring public to be aware of those road users as well. Those are legitimate, legal road users. We encourage people to be out walking, biking, that type of thing, and we want to make sure they're safe as well. So we're constantly studying new ways of raising awareness about their safety as well.
So what is the long-term vision of this program? What ultimately will make the SS4A program down the line be considered successful?
Well, ultimately, the ultimate long-term goal for us, for the state of Michigan, for the federal government, is 0 fatalities on the roads. In the short term, we want to reduce the fatalities and reduce serious injuries, but reduce pedestrian injuries, fatalities, reduce bicyclist fatalities and injuries. So, the short-term goal is bring down those numbers as much more as possible. We already have among the lowest numbers in the state and the country, but one fatality, one crash is too many. So we want to continue to bring those numbers down. Everything we can do to lower those numbers is critical, and we want to do it.
Craig Bryson is with us, the Senior Communications Manager with the Road Commission for Oakland County. You can learn more about all of our local roads and get the latest updates on rcocweb.org. And Craig, before we let you go, given some of the big projects we've had in our local area of late, a full shutdown of Commerce Road in our area certainly affected some roadways. Of course, over the past couple of years, we've had the reconstruction of Orchard Lake Road through the Tri-Cities in West Bloomfield, and now close to home, right next door to us in Farmington Hills, an MDOT project shutting down the on-ramps onto I-696. All of this being considered, all these different detours that come into play, what action can be taken right now by drivers out on the road, listening to us on Lakes FM, watching us at home, going about the community today, to make safe streets and roads for all something that happens right here, right now?
Well, one of the first things you can do is, visit our website regularly and find out what projects are happening or planned on your driving route. And if there are detours, find out what those detours are. Secondly, when you are encountering road construction, please slow down, be aware, be mindful of the speed limits within the construction zones. Be mindful of the people working in those zones. One of our top goals as well is to make sure that everybody who is working to improve the roads goes home to their families safely every night. So please slow down. Don't be distracted, especially in construction zones. Remember, all this stuff is inconvenient, but this is what it takes to improve and maintain the roads. Roads require constant maintenance, just like a home or anything else. And all this work is necessary to maintain and improve the roads so we all can continue to use them.
The Road Commission for Oakland County will be holding their Safety Action Plan meeting, getting feedback from the public on Monday, July 29th from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Oakland County Executive Office Building on Pontiac Road in Waterford, Michigan. Craig, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity.